Hello everyone, today I wanted to make a video showcasing some post-exploitation techniques you can be using on Windows networks. I have these two computers that are domain joined under this 159 computer, also known as offsec.local. All three of these computers are running SMB and RDP. So once you have access to the computer, one of the things you can do is load Mimikatz up. There's an executable version for this in Meterpreter. All you have to do is just use load kiwi, and if we use the creds_all command, we're going to be able to dump all the credentials that are stored in memory. So we can see that there's this J Davison user, and in memory we can see that there's just the password1, and we can see that he's a domain user just by under this domain tab here. So let's see if we can dump any secrets from the domain controller using his account. So we're going to be using this, we're going to be doing this by using the tool Impacket. So we can use that by using Impacket, and then secretsdump, and then you want to pass the domain, and then the user, so J Davidson, and then you want to do colon, and then his password, and then you want to do an @ symbol, and the device you want to target. So the domain controller is 192.168.0.159. And this is just going to try to dump as much information as it can. You can see that it was able to, dump credentials using this DRSU API method, which basically is, it's an API used in Active Directory to change objects, make new objects, do the whole shebang. And we can see that it dumped a bunch of users down here. So we have this A Darwin, B admin, D admin, and we can see this J Davison user. So let's see if we can try to crack any of these passwords that are stored here. So let's copy these, and let's do vim hash, and let's paste these in. And it's important to note that most of these hash types are NTLM. So what we're going to do is we're going to do Hashcat -A0-M. This is for method, and we're going to do 1,000. And we are going to patch the hash file as well as a word list. So we're going to do user share word list and rock you. So once that's done, we can do the --show command. And this is going to show us all the passwords it dumped. And so you can see that it dumped this password that we didn't have before, this Morgan1 user, and as well as that J Davison. So let's cat hash here, and let's just look for the user that has this hash assigned. And we can see that this is the account for A Darwin. So we can do the same thing, right? So let's go up, and let's put A Darwin in here. So A Darwin, and his password is Morgan01, Morgan01. So in my case, just looking through this output, we don't really see anything too different. In your case, you might be able to crack the password of an administrator who has more permissions, and they're able to see more content in the domain. So it's just something to keep in mind. So let's see if we can log in to the domain controller or this Windows 7 device using those two accounts. And he's not allowed, and let's see if we can log in under A Darwin. His password was Morgan01. And once again, he is not allowed to log into the main controller either. Sad day. So let's see if we can log into this Windows 7 device. So we're going to pass the 84 and password 1. And we're able to log in. Nice. So once we have access to this computer, essentially what can we do, right? So one of the things we can do is use the tool Bloodhound. Let me put GitHub at the end of this. And what this tool does is it essentially queries and looks around for any Active Directory information it can find, and it stores it in these JSON files, which we can import into the tool Bloodhound. So if we go to the Bloodhound GitHub repository, and you actually go into collectors and Sharphound, you can download this file, and this is going to collect the actual data we're going to import into Bloodhound. So if we go to show all here and keep dangerous file, there's ways around this too. People have made PowerShell scripts to make this too that you can obfuscate, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be using this. So we're going to open CMD, and what we're going to do is we're going to run this. So we're going to drag and drop this in, and we're going to use the option zip file name. And this is just going to specify the zip file name that we're going to output this to. I'm just going to say output. And yeah, that's all you really need. So once this starts running, you just give it a second. It's basically just going to be trying to find out any information that it can. So once it's done, it's going to spit out this zip file as well as this bin file. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use Python 3, and I'm going to host this directory so I can download this zip file from Kali. I'm now on my Kali device, and I downloaded this output of my Sharphound session. So now to import it, all I'm going to do is just kind of drag and drop this zip file into Bloodhound. You don't even need to extract it. And it's going to apply its post processes, and it's going to analyze essentially all the information that it found. So once it's done, you can clear finish, and some of the stuff we can do immediately is if we actually go to analysis, we can do find computers with unsupported operating systems, and it found all 3 of my devices in my network diagram I showed earlier. Another option we have is find all domain admins, and here is those users that we found earlier, right? So if we click J. Davidson, we can see that here's his name, and here's all of his descriptions and all of his properties in Active Directory. If we can kind of go down this list here just to kind of get any additional information, we have this domain admin. He has this object ID, and he's enabled. We keep going down the line, and we have this backup admin account with this plain text password. So let's see if this backup admin has permission to RDP into the domain controller. So let's go back. Let's quit out of Python. Let's quit out of all this, and let's see if we can RDP into the domain controller. 159. And his password was fell. So yep, we have access to essentially RDP into this computer, and we can go down here, and we have all the roles and the features here, so we could, you know, make settings to the DNS server, push GPOs, right? We can go down here, group policy management, and we could push our own GPOs. So let's say we want to take this a step further, and we want to install a PowerShell backdoor on this device, so whenever someone restarts the computer and logs in, it tries to reach back to our Kali device and initiate a backdoor. Well, first of all, why would we even want this, right? We have domain access. So what if they change their passwords, right? So our only source of entry is through the Windows XP device, which has system level privileges, and then we were able to crack the domain passwords because they were essentially weak. So what if they change their passwords, and what if they update them to something more secure? They start password policies, right? There's all these scenarios where this wouldn't happen. So if we install a PowerShell backdoor, even if they change their passwords, next time they log in, this machine will still try to reach back to our machine, and we will have a backdoor. So if you go to Google and you just search up GitHub PowerShell one-line backdoor, there's this nice GitHub paste by this user right here. You want to take this content and you want to put it into Notepad, and you want to change this IP address to your machine. So I'm going to use my Kali IP, and for the port I'm going to use 444 and I'm going to save this to my desktop, all files, and I'm going to save it as Chrome updater.ps1. So now that it's saved to my desktop, I'm going to actually move this to a more hidden location, right? So I'm going to go program files, common files, Google Chrome application, and I'm going to paste this Chrome updater in here. So now I'm actually going to go into regedit, and I'm going to create a new registry entry to basically auto run this file. Now that we're in registry, you want to go to HKey local machine, software, Microsoft, Windows, current version, and then run. So anything that you put in here is going to be auto executed through CMD. So you want to do new string value. You can call this anything. I'm going to call it update Chrome. Then you want to click modify. And then the actual command you want to put in is cmd /c. So start a CMD command that is a PowerShell session that is going to be WindowStyle hidden. So hide the window, and then we're going to set the execution policy as bypass, and then we're going to do -file, and we're going to paste this directory in quotes because ProgramFiles has a space in it, and then we're going to pass Chrome updater .ps1, and I'm going to copy this whole thing, and I'm actually going to paste this into CMD real quick. And before that, I'm going to show you guys how to actually listen on your Kali device. So if you use the command nc, you can do nc-nlvp. So this just means, hey, listen on all local ports, listen on all local IP addresses for the specified port, which I'm going to be using 4444. This should be the port you used, in your backdoor. And now going back in here, I'm going to paste this in here, and I'm going to run it. So we saw that window pop up for a split second, and if we go back into our Kali machine, you can see that we have access to the computer, right? So I can say dir, and we are in this computer. So let's save this. Let's quit out of here. Let's go back in Kali. Let's quit out of this. Or exit. Let's start listening again, and let's restart the device. So restart. So now I'm going to log in under my administrator account on the server, and as soon as the desktop fully boots, we get a connection here, and the backdoor is working, right? So we can say dir, we can list all the dirs, we can say who am I, and you can see that we are the administrator account. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep in mind that I did do all of this on my own network, all legally, so please do all this stuff responsibly. If you guys have anything you want me to take a look at or anything that you want me to cover, please let me know.